Judas' last chance. It is not easy to determine whether Judas Iscariot participated in Jesus' new rite of breaking bread. According to Matthew and Mark, the breaking of bread took place after Jesus announced to the apostles that he knew who would betray him. According to Luke, the first Eucharist came first, followed by Jesus' warning about the betrayal. John does not mention the Eucharist at all, but does note that Judas left after Jesus said, "What you do, do quickly." It is unclear why John did not recount how he remembered the first breaking of bread. This would have been quite intriguing. However, he provides an interesting detail. After Jesus' warning, the apostles began whispering among themselves, and Peter signaled to John, who then asked Jesus who the betrayer was. Jesus' response was specific: the one to whom he would give a piece of bread dipped in water or sauce. However, at feasts, the host would traditionally offer such a piece of bread to nearby guests. Likely, when Yeshua handed this bread to Judas, no one took particular notice. Everyone continued eating and drinking. Then Jesus directly addressed Judas, making it clear that he knew everything. Yet again, the apostles failed to understand, thinking that Jesus and Judas were merely discussing some affairs. Matthew presents an even more striking detail. After Jesus spoke about the betrayal, all the apostles, probably assuming this prophecy referred to some distant time, began asking, "Is it I?" Judas Iscariot, sitting close to Jesus, had the audacity to ask his teacher, from whom he had already turned away, "Could it be me?" Knowing full well that it was indeed him, Jesus replied, "You have said so." The way Jesus handled this situation sheds light on his character and how he interacted with people. At first, he issued a general warning to Judas, indicating that he knew about the betrayal. Judas did not respond. Then Judas brazenly tried to deceive Jesus and the others with his hypocritical question. Next, Jesus handed Judas a piece of bread and declared that the betrayer was the one to whom he had given it. At this moment, Judas must have fully realized that his plot had been exposed. Yet he did not question how Jesus knew. He did not confess to anything. He simply continued reclining next to Jesus. Finally, Jesus leaned toward him and said, "Do what you have planned." Judas sprang up and ran away from his former brothers and from Yeshua. Jesus skillfully addressed the traitor, giving him a few minutes to reconsider his intentions in the presence of his friends, who, however, remained oblivious to what was happening. In such decisive moments, a person's mind can reevaluate everything and change its course. However, Judas boldly asked his deceitful question and then, overwhelmed by fear, fled the Last Supper. He did not change his mind. He was ready to betray Jesus. For some reason, he simply did not like him, as often happens between people. Yet, if he had lost faith, he could have honestly declared his departure from the teacher and the apostles without betraying anyone. He could have even repented. Judas made the greatest mistake of his life. Perhaps an equally grave mistake in his moment of clouded judgment was his attempt to play hypocritical games with Jesus. Nothing can be hidden from God. Jesus gave Judas a chance, but no response came from him. Perhaps it is in God's nature to give a person a chance even when everything seems utterly hopeless. After all, Jesus dedicated much effort and time to the Pharisees and scribes of Jerusalem, even though he knew from the beginning that it was all in vain.